There's a little difference between special effects and special effects makeup. Special effects usually is your practical effects like explosions and fire and rain and bullet hits, things that Bob Shelley does here in town, and does it well. What I do involves more of the actor. If there is a facial deformation, any type of special makeup, besides blush and rouge, that kind of thing. If you need a nose or an ear, to make the actor look like an old person, things like that. That's where we come in. One of the more exciting things that we do is actually duplicate the actors, make dummies, replicas, animatronic heads and stuff. Oh gosh, I was one of those little teeny kids that loved monster movies, and my hobby was every time my mom went to the grocery store, I had to have a new kit of Play-Doh, which was like 4 or 5 different colors. And after a year or so, I think I had about 30 pounds of Play-Doh in a bag, and they were all this kind of rainbow gray color. And I started making life-size heads and stuff. Then eventually, when I was 10, I saw Planet of the Apes on the CBS Friday night late movie. And they had a segment at the end on how they did the makeup effects, and they showed just enough to give me a little knowledge. The next day my dad took me to the hobby shop and bought me all the right materials, and a week later I had this really crappy gorilla mask. I continued doing it, from the age 10 all the way up. It was a hobby, but it was a passion. I played football, I played drums in the jazz band, I played in bands, high school bands, college bands. That was my other love, was music. As far as getting my foot in the door, though, I went to the magazine Fangoria has the Fango Weekends of Horror. In 1982 or 83, I went to Boston, and Tom Savini was the special guest there. He was responsible for Friday the 13th, Creep Show, all these different makeup effects. So he was kind of like the father of gore. So getting to meet him to me was just like really just a big. I was a big fanboy too, so I kind of geeked out. But I brought my book with pictures of my work, and I showed it to him, and he was impressed. So he gave me probably the most important phone number I ever got in my life. That was Dick Smith, who's pretty much the godfather of the industry. I got in contact with him and started corresponding, and I would send pictures of my work, and he would basically grade them and send the photographs back with red pen marks on it. Work on this. This wrinkle looks fake, blah, 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 blah. And eventually I got to go up there and meet him, and I trained under him, and he's got a course now that he offers, and I just got involved with Dick Smith, and the guy is so great. He just lets you know every little secret there is. And I finished up my degree in 1986 in college. It was a dental degree, and 6 months later I was in Los Angeles. Dick actually referred me for my first job. There's a filmmaking industry here? No, I'm just kidding. It's actually I give it a thumbs up because the lights are on. That's all I can say is my lights are on. The Hummer and the Ferrari aren't in the driveway yet though, but there is an industry, and that was one of the reasons I moved here. I was involved with Brian and Laurence Avene Bradley on one of their first films was Freezer. Then I got involved with Ghost of the Needle, and I moved down here really just to kind of see where things went with them. They're up and coming, and now you see they're in Pasadena, California, and here I am. But it worked out really good. The last 3 years I've stayed very busy. Yeah, I'll answer that on my own because I would be taking credit for a lot more people if I said something we did in California. I think one of the most challenging things is on the film that I'm working on right now is Dance of the Dead, Greg Bishop's film. We've not had the amount of extras that we thought we would have, but even at that, we've had limited amounts of time. We're on a limited budget and trying to get people to look like zombies that don't look like Halloween party zombies. I've got a really great crew of about 15 people. Some have experience, some are new to the industry. Nevertheless, they're kicking ass and really making me look good, and that's their job. No. Actually, it is. You're only as good as the worst person you've got on your team. Did you hear that, Skippy? And become a doctor. It's a very heartbreaking industry. No, I would never tell anybody not to because it's, people tried to tell me. I actually was just a few classes away from becoming a dentist, and that was because that's what my family expected of me. and that's fine. It's a noble profession, but it's not what I want to do. This, making monsters is what I wanted to do. So I did. I heard that all the time. Become a doctor, grow up, and don't forget those crazy dreams. Especially growing up in a small town in Tennessee, that's just unheard of. But the advice I think I would give anybody is really, first of all, if you're really going to be a makeup effects artist, is practice, 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 practice. Just grab a hunk of clay and sculpt all the time. And the second thing is definitely be willing to work for free for a little while coming up. Don't think that you're going to make a lot of money. Don't be in it for the money. And really, I think the most important thing is just a true passion for it, because everything else will come if you've got the passion.